Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy. And today is June 13th of 2024. We're celebrating the memorial of St. Anthony of Padua, priest and doctor of the Church. However, as the Portuguese will tell you, St. Anthony of Padua is actually from Lisbon in Portugal. So they also celebrate his feast there. Today's gospel is the gospel from the day. It comes to us from Matthew's gospel, chapter 5, verses 20 through 26. Jesus said to his disciples, "I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to your ancestors, 'You shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment.' But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment, and whoever says to his brother Raqa will be answerable to the Sanhedrin. And whoever says, 'You fool,' will be liable to fiery Gehenna. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there recall that your brother has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar. Go first and be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Settle with your opponent quickly while on the way to court with him. Otherwise, your opponent will hand you over to the judge, and the judge will hand you over to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Amen, I say to you, you will not be released until you have paid the last penny." Today, the Universal Church celebrates the memorial of St. Anthony of Padua, priest and doctor of the Church. Now, there's a lot that could be said, but we can consider just two stories about his life and apply the lessons that we see there to our own lives. So first, despite his name, Anthony of Padua was actually born in Lisbon, in Portugal. The oldest son of a wealthy family, he gave up many opportunities and wealth in order to become a religious and a priest. After ordination, his first assignment was to be in charge of hospitality at his abbey of Augustinian friars, and while there, he came into contact with Franciscans. In particular, he made the friendship of a group of friars minor, formed of a certain Father Berard of Carbio, a Father Peter, a Father Otho, a brother Accursius, and a brother Adjuntus, 5 Franciscans who were headed to Morocco to preach the gospel to Muslims. Later, that following year, Anthony received word that his 5 friends had been martyred. Their bodies were brought back to Portugal and carried in procession to the church in Coimbra. Upon seeing their relics, Anthony was so moved by their example that he decided that he too would join the Franciscans and head to Morocco. Well, herein lies the first lesson. Let's be honest. Nobody, save the Franciscans, and probably not even all of them, has any idea who Berard of Carbio or Otho or Accurius is. I mean, they're canonized saints, but if we consider how many times we invoke St. Anthony of Padua, and how many times in the last 5 years you've invoked St. Adjuntus, well, it's pretty clear that the Franciscan proto-martyrs just don't have the same reputation. But that's okay. Sanctity consists in doing God's will, whatever that might be for our lives. We don't need to be the best of everyone, or be the most well-thought of, most well-liked religious or layperson. We just need to be the best in the vocation and the office that God has given us. In what sense? The best that we can be. Live out that task fully. And in that way, we'll come to be the saints, and our example can inspire others to do the same, like it did for St. Anthony. Now, once Anthony entered the Franciscans, he was indeed sent to Morocco. However, as soon as he arrived, he came down with a terrible illness that left him unable to do much of anything. And finally, it was decided that he should go back to Portugal. So sadly, he boarded the ship and set sail, but even that didn't go according to plan. A storm blew the ship so far off course that he ended up in Sicily and walked to Assisi, where finally he was invited to stay at a hermitage. It was only after another fluke, when a priest didn't show up to give a sermon, and Anthony's superior told him to do the best he could to cover, that the saint's incredible preaching ability, for which he's well known, was revealed. Now here's the second lesson for us. We need to have a providential outlook on life, to see everything as a part of God's plan to make us saints and to bring souls to heaven. Now things didn't turn out as St. Anthony had expected, But everything, from that seemingly random illness to the bad weather on the water to a forgotten homily, were all part of a master plan. A master plan of what God allowed for Anthony to really become Saint Anthony. Another saint, St. Edith Stein, summarizes this well when she writes, "What did not lie in my plan lay in God's plans. And the more often such things happen to me, the more lively becomes in me the conviction of my faith that, from God's point of view, nothing is accidental. That my entire life, even in the most minute details, was pre-designed in the plans of divine providence, and is thus for the all-seeing eye of God a perfect coherence of meaning." Today, as we celebrate the memorial of St. Anthony, we can ask ourselves about the example that we set. Do we live so close to God as to inspire others? With what fervor do we live out our daily tasks? Do we trust God's providence in all things, especially in the difficult moments and the hard circumstances? Through the intercession of Mary, Mother of God, let's ask for the grace to imitate our Blessed Mother in her humility and in her docility.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed hearing the gospel and homily, I invite you to share it with someone you know who may also find it rewarding, and also to subscribe to the Catholic Voice channel. Please see in the description below if you would like to receive a text message for each daily gospel and homily. Please also keep our missionary priests throughout the world in your prayers. Thank you, and God bless.